Serious concerns about Trump's health condition. Recent developments have sparked major concerns about Donald Trump's health, with stroke rumors triggering intense debate. These aren't baseless conspiracy theories. Doctors, physical therapists, and medical professionals are observing Trump and expressing serious concerns. The White House is attempting to cover up the situation, but the truth is starting to emerge. The basic facts. Donald Trump is 79 years old, making him the oldest person ever elected president of the United States. He's even older than Biden was when Biden took office, which is significant given how much attention was paid to Biden's age. Unlike Biden, who exercised regularly and rode his bike on weekends, Trump doesn't exercise at all. He believes humans have a finite amount of energy like a battery, and exercising uses it up faster. He eats fast food constantly, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and drinks Diet Coke all day. His father, Fred Trump, died of dementia, so it runs in the family. This creates a high-risk health situation. The Walter Reed visit and MRI. In early October, Trump went to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center under suspicious circumstances. The White House was extremely secretive about the visit, refusing to explain why he was there or release any details. Trump eventually let slip that he got an MRI, a medical scan used to examine your brain, organs, and joints. You don't get an MRI just for fun. Doctors order MRIs when they suspect something might be wrong, looking for tumors, strokes, heart problems, or other serious issues. Trump claimed it was very standard and that the results were some of the best reports they've ever seen. But a former White House physician pointed out that Trump spent far more time at Walter Reed than a simple MRI would require. He could have undergone additional tests, brain scans, heart scans, or other procedures. The White House refuses to release the results or allow his doctors to answer questions from the press. There's zero transparency, despite their previous criticism of the Biden administration for the same behavior. The facial drooping incident. On September 11th, Trump attended a ceremony at the Pentagon for the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. People watching noticed something alarming. The right side of Trump's face was drooping significantly, as if one side wasn't working properly. Facial drooping is a classic sign of stroke. It's one of the primary symptoms medical professionals teach people to recognize. The acronym for stroke recognition includes face drooping, arm weakness, and speech difficulty. Social media erupted with people posting pictures and videos, pointing out what appeared to be stroke symptoms. The White House's response was dismissive, claiming it was just lighting and camera angles, as if people couldn't trust their own eyes. The walking problems. Videos showing Trump walking have gone viral, revealing a noticeable limp with his right leg dragging. A doctor of physical therapy with 14 years of experience treating geriatric patients analyzed the footage in detail. She identified weakness in the hamstring, with his right leg flopping toward the ground. This pattern is consistent with a stroke on the left side of the brain, which causes weakness on the right side of the body. She also noted how short his left steps were, explaining that this indicates he doesn't trust his right leg to support his body weight. This is classic post-stroke gait, though it could also indicate frontotemporal dementia. Either way, it represents serious neurological decline. The New York Times investigation. The New York Times published a detailed, data-driven report analyzing Trump's health and schedule. The findings are striking. They compared his current schedule to his first term, and the differences are dramatic. In 2017, during his first year in office, Trump held 1,688 official events between January 20th and November 25th. This year, during the same time period, he's held only 1,029 official events, a 39% decrease. He's doing almost 40% less work than 8 years ago. His schedule also starts much later now. In 2017, his first official event averaged 10:30 a.m. This year, it starts at 12:08 p.m. He's not getting to work until afternoon. Most of his public appearances fall between noon and 5 p.m., essentially a 5-hour workday. Compare this to Obama, who worked from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., or George W. Bush, who was in the Oval Office by 6:45 a.m. every morning. Both maintained full schedules and exercised regularly. The Times report also documented an incident in early November when Trump was in the Oval Office for an event about drug prices. He was repeatedly seen closing his eyes, appearing to doze off. His eyelids drooped until his eyes were almost closed. He was falling asleep during the day while sitting in a chair with reporters present, only standing up when someone behind him collapsed and needed medical attention. Trump's response. Trump responded to the New York Times article with a meltdown on Truth Social. He called the reporters creeps, labeled the story a hit piece, and called the reporter Katie Rogers ugly both inside and out. In his rant, he inadvertently admitted something revealing. There will be a day when I run low on energy. It happens to everyone. He's acknowledging declining energy while trying to cover it up by claiming he recently aced a comprehensive cognitive test. However, he hasn't released those test results, the MRI results, or any supporting documentation. The White House physician's memo. Dr. Sean Barbabella, the White House physician, released a memo in April claiming Trump was in excellent overall health and that his cardiovascular vitality was approximately 14 years younger than his chronological age. But this memo didn't address any of the specific concerns people have raised. It didn't explain the bruises on his hands, the swelling in his ankles, the facial drooping, the limping, or the cognitive lapses. Dr. Barbabella refuses to take questions from reporters or hold a press conference. This lack of transparency mirrors Trump's first term. When he got COVID in 2020, there were no proper medical briefings. When he was hospitalized, they provided minimal information. After the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, there were 0 medical briefings. Congressional investigation. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas has launched a formal investigation into Trump's health. She sent a letter to Dr. Barbabella with specific questions. Has the president experienced a heart attack or stroke in the past 15 years? Have health issues interfered with his ability to perform his duties? Does he use assisted devices like a cane or brace privately? What's causing the repeated instances of facial paralysis and mobility issues? And what's the medical basis for claiming he's fully fit to serve as commander-in-chief? These are legitimate questions the American people deserve answers to. This isn't about politics. It's about national security. If the president is having strokes or suffering from dementia, everyone needs to know, including Congress. And America's adversaries are certainly paying attention. Putin and Xi Jinping have intelligence agencies watching closely, and if they see weakness, they'll exploit it. Jucker. Signs of cognitive decline. Trump's behavior has changed in ways that suggest medical issues. He's exhibiting signs of disinhibition, a medical term meaning loss of social filter, saying and doing things you wouldn't normally do because the frontal lobe, which controls impulse control, is damaged. One main cause of disinhibition is frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease affecting the frontal and temporal lobes. This runs in Trump's family. His father, Fred, had dementia. Trump now regularly lashes out at reporters, calling them stupid and dumb, screaming insults like a child. This agitation, aggression, and emotional dysregulation are signs of dementia. Patients become agitated easily and can't control their emotions. Trump used to hide this behavior when necessary, but now he doesn't. He's calling reporters pigs, calling governors offensive names, and having public meltdowns regularly. Jasur, physical evidence. The bruises on Trump's hands have been visible for months. Sometimes he covers them with makeup. The White House claims they're from handshakes and aspirin use, but why so many and so often? The swelling in his ankles is attributed to chronic venous insufficiency, a condition where leg veins can't efficiently return blood to the heart, potentially leading to blood clots and other serious complications. Medical professional opinions. Many medical professionals believe Trump has likely had a stroke or multiple transient ischemic attacks, mini-strokes. These don't cause permanent damage but serve as warning signs for a major stroke. The symptoms Trump exhibits, facial drooping, gait disturbance, cognitive decline, are all consistent with stroke. Here the bigger question. If Trump is having mini-strokes or suffering from dementia, who's actually running the country? He's working 5-hour days, starting at noon and stopping at 5 p.m. He's falling asleep in meetings and showing clear signs of decline. Is J.D. Vance making decisions? His advisors? Some unelected group behind the scenes? In a democracy, People deserve to know who's in charge. Approval ratings reflect concerns. Trump's approval ratings reflect these concerns. Gallup has him at 36% approval, and even among Republicans, his approval has dropped from 91% to 79%. Among independents, only 25% approve. When asked who's responsible for the economy, twice as many blame Trump as blame Biden. What needs to happen? First, there must be transparency. The MRI results need to be released. Dr. Barbabella should take questions from the press. Independent medical experts should examine the president. Second, elected officials must be held accountable. Congress has a constitutional responsibility to provide oversight. If the president is incapable of doing the job, Congress must act. Third, citizens must stay informed and not allow gaslighting. Use your eyes, use your brain, look at the evidence, and draw your own conclusions. This isn't about ageism. Jimmy Carter is 100 and sharp. Bernie Sanders is in his 80s and fighting every day. The problem is when someone's health is declining and they hide it. Biden stepped down when concerns were raised about his fitness, putting the country first. Trump will never do that because for him, it's about ego and winning, not the country. Conclusion. The evidence is mounting that Trump's health is failing. He's likely had at least one stroke, probably more, and shows signs of dementia. The people around him are covering it up because they need him. They need the MAGA base, his fundraising ability, and his grip on the Republican Party. They're propping him up and lying to the American people. Eventually, the truth will come out. When the full extent of Trump's health problems becomes public, there will be consequences, political and potentially legal, because covering up the president's medical condition is serious. This is why transparency, accountability, and vigilance matter. We can't just trust what politicians tell us. We must demand proof, verify information, and stay informed.